me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
But being in a leadership role later down the line, I feel like I've had a hand in that with a whole lot of help. And you get to impact not just a few kids. And it's worth it if you only impact a few. We've impacted now 2 generations of families. I've got kids in our youth sports programs now that are the grandkids of people that were in it when I got there.
Wow.
So that's been really neat to see.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show from the 2025 GRPA Conference. In this episode, we sit down with outgoing GRPA President and Sumter County Executive Director, Tim Estes, a true road warrior who spent the year strengthening all 7 districts across Georgia. Tim shares the behind-the-scenes realities of leading the association and how Georgia's innovative new statewide certification is shaping the future of the profession. We also dive into why Parks and Recreation is an essential service, not just for play, but for health, safety, and community. This is an inspiring conversation you won't want to miss. Let's dive in.
All right, we are live again from we're live with the Daily Parks and Rec Show from the Georgia Parks and Rec Annual Convention with the outgoing president of the association. So he's responsible, I think, for this year's growth. And tell us what it was like to be the president of the Georgia Association for this last year.
Well, I've been a road warrior.
I bet.
Our state is divided into 7 geographical districts. And one of my goals was to make it to a meeting or a banquet in all 7 of those districts. And I've been able to do that thanks to some good help back home. And so I've accomplished all the 5 goals that we set in place to start this year. And it's good to be able to celebrate that with fellow professionals this week.
Fantastic. And so now what kicked you over the edge to volunteer to be the president?
Well, you have to be nominated for that. And I still to this day don't know who nominated me to do
still
that.
trying to find that guy.
But it has been the professional honor of my career to serve in this role. So whoever did it, if they're watching this, thank you for thinking enough of me to give me this opportunity. But it's been a pleasure.
Now, in hindsight, or maybe what advice would you give to the guy coming after you, the lessons you've learned?
Make sure you have a great team in place at home and behind the scenes with GRPA.
Yeah.
At home, we're a small agency where I'm the executive director, only 9 full-time employees.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to have some folks really step up and handle some things in my absence. In GRPA, as the president, you get to appoint 16 committee chairs. And you got to make sure you get folks that aren't just your friends,
mm-hmm.
that you just don't have relationships with. I tried to appoint people that I had seen myself get the job done. And they've knocked it out of the park, Greg. We've had an amazing year.
Yeah. And so what do you see is some of the things that GRPA can improve on, or where are the areas of growth that you feel like we can do that they can do better in?
Well, I think educationally, we made great strides this year. We teamed up with the Carl Vinson Institute of Government over at the University of Georgia to develop what's now known as the Georgia Recreation and Park Professional Certification. It's a 48-hour certification program. So city council members and county commissioners, when they're elected, they go through this same training. So now when our professionals ask to go through this training, their county manager or their city manager or their elected officials understand what it is and are more likely to support that. So what I'd see, we rolled that out at this conference this year, and it's been a tremendous success. We did 2 classes yesterday. We'll do 3 more tomorrow, and that's the beginning of it. But I just want to see that continue to grow and become not only something that's really good for Georgia, but that can become a model for the entire country.
So how do we grow our participation in industry? As far as people coming to the state annual meeting, do you have any ideas for how we can kind of grow membership?
I don't have any specific ideas, Craig, but we normally have 400 to 500 at our annual conference. This year we're at 800.
Wow.
So our executive director, Steve Card, and I have talked many times over the last week about how did we get so many?
Yeah.
And I think it's the fact that we had such a positive message. Certainly the new Carl Vinson Institute educational programs played a part in that. We upgraded our website this year, so I think the information got out to our members. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things that we did. And we've got an awesome incoming president in my friend Adrian Cosby, and I think he's just going to keep the ball rolling and push it even further.
Yeah. Okay, so we created a video for the industry about why you should consider Parks and Recreation as a career path. And this is to be played in front of a classroom of, summer camp workers or lifeguards, or even in a college classroom, which it actually has been played in many college classrooms across the country already. But I'd like to play this, and then I wanted to give you a chance to give your testimony as if you were speaking to a group of college kids that don't quite know what they want to do with their life. Why should they consider Parks and Rec as a career path? So I'll play this and we'll get your take on it when we come right back.
Absolutely.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. Not once in a while, but every single day. Step into a park on a Saturday morning. You'll hear children laughing on the soccer field, families gathering for a picnic, seniors walking the trails, finding health and friendship. And behind every smile, every memory, is a Parks and Rec professional. We don't just mow fields, we grow confidence in young athletes. We don't just build playgrounds, we create safe spaces where childhood thrives. We don't just plan events, we design moments that anchor generations. Think of the coach who teaches patience, the director who champions equity, the staff member who sees potential in a child no one else believed in. Every day, Parks and Rec professionals shape character, preserve beauty, and strengthen community. And the path isn't easy. Budgets are tight, resources stretched thin, but the reward, unmatched. Because what you give comes back in legacy, in healthier communities, in lives forever changed. So why dedicate your life to Parks and Recreation? Because here, your work never ends. It lives on, in laughter echoing across playgrounds, in green spaces preserved for the next century, in the young professionals rising to lead tomorrow. This is not just a career, it's a calling, it's a legacy, it's Parks and Recreation. A message from the Parks and Rec community.
All right. So give us a testimony as why young kids should pursue this industry.
Absolutely incredible. First of all, I love it. That's the first time I've been able to see that.
Oh, wow.
This is what I would tell you. I'm a parent and a grandparent. My two kids have graduated college. So if I would have gone into a college class with that video, what I would try to convey to those students is the fact that your mom or your dad are wanting you to get a degree where you can, number one, get a job when you get out of college. And number two, not only get a job, but get a job that can support a family. Parks and Recreation can certainly do that. I have two daughters that are school teachers, proud of the fact that they're teaching young kids, but I wanted them to go to college and get that degree so that they knew they could get a job. In Parks and Rec, we're very, very similar to the education curriculum. We can get you a job right out of college. It pays very similar usually to the education side of things. So number one, I think parents know that they can get in this job and have a career. Number two, we do get to impact lives, just like it said there. In a small community like mine, it's mainly athletics, youth sports, youth team sports, maybe pickleball as a passive thing. In larger departments, it's so diverse. It's cultural affairs. You've just got so many aspects. Outdoor, the pickleball took off. You've got kayak launch. I've got a buddy over in Cherokee County that has just built an entire park for outdoor recreation with kayaks and archery and things like that. So, man, it's so diverse. And throughout our state of Georgia, you can really get into something that you enjoy. And that's the big thing for me. I look back over my 35-year career right now and go, you know what? There weren't many days where I had to go to work. I got to go to work. So
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I hope to do it for about 8 or 10 more years.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, and unfortunately, in most careers, you have to wait till you're retired before you start giving back to your community, making a difference, leaving a legacy. But maybe speak about how in Parks and Rec on day one in your 20s, you are making an impact in your community.
Absolutely. And I'm fortunate to work in the community that I grew up in. I went off to college and came back. And I remember thinking in my mind as a 25-year-old, when I retire in 35 or 40 years, I want to be able to look back and go, we're a lot better now than we were when I got here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's certainly not all to me, but being in a leadership role later down the line, I feel like I've had a hand in that with a whole lot of help. And you get to impact not just a few kids. And it's worth it if you only impact a few. But we've impacted now 2 generations of families. I've got kids in our youth sports programs now that are the grandkids of people that were in it when I got there.
Wow.
So that's been really neat to see.
All right. Now, this is probably our most powerful video we've ever made. And it was actually inspired by some of our Parks and Rec directors when the budgets were getting cut during COVID. And Parks and Rec, unfortunately, was for some reason considered not essential. And so we're trying to reframe that conversation into we are absolutely an essential industry when you're trying to build a healthy community. So I want to play this and then get your take on why Parks and Rec should absolutely be considered all the time as an essential service.
Okay.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety, a playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
What's your take on that one?
Really good. And you say that came out right after COVID?
We actually made that video about 3 months ago because we were, just in conversation with a lot of Parks and Rec directors saying their budgets were strained, and then they would refer to how much it was strained and how much budgets were cut because they weren't considered essential. And what we found is that maybe they weren't the reactive side of a community, but when you eliminate the proactive side of a healthy community, your reactive side needs even more funding to deal with the problems caused by a community that's neglected.
One of the positives that I think came out of the COVID pandemic was elected officials found out pretty quickly just how essential parks and recreation services are. If your community is not investing in parks and rec, they're probably not considered essential. Do you create a fight at that point? I don't think so. I think we have all the proof that we need. There's all kind of statistics out there that you can pull off the internet. You can show them examples in your own community of how a youth sports program or a summer day camp or a swimming pool really went into making your community a better place to live. I think we just need to prove it a little better, and we're certainly looking for ways to do that. This media outlet that you've created, videos like that are something that I could use in my own community. But I will say this, I'm very fortunate to live in a community that 100% supports recreation and parks, 100% wants to fund it to the level it needs to be funded.
Yeah. You know, similar to a human body, a community like a body, if you neglect its diet and its exercise, you better up your insurance because you're getting ready to have to go to the hospital in a few years. And so if you don't invest in your parks and rec and the services they provide, you're going to have other problems that the other departments will absolutely have to deal with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show today, Tim. And actually, I wanted you to speak a little bit about, before we go, about your podcast that you do, because you're a sports podcaster, correct?
I do. I have a local podcast. It's called the Integrity Sports Podcast. And I would love for all of my fellow parks and recreation professionals to go onto YouTube and hit the subscribe button on that. It would really help me out. And it would give you, I hope, some positive comments. We try to stay positive on there, but it's been a lot of fun. It started as a hobby, something I wanted to do, and it's turned into a little bit of a side gig, but that's how I met you. I saw your videos through that and have followed you ever since. But the Integrity Sports Podcast, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's on YouTube?
It is on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, everybody go subscribe to his channel so we can get him as many subscribers as possible. He's doing a great job over there.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service with GRPA, Tim. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Before we sign off, Craig, let me say this. I want to thank the Sumter County Board of Commissioners as well as our county administrator, Scott Carver. They have fully supported me in this effort. And I've been gone over 30 days this year to be in hotels to attend events. And my family back home and my staff have certainly been supportive of that. And I want to thank them.
Yeah, every great leader has an awesome support system, like you said, at home and at work.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show, and have a great rest of your convention.
Thanks, Craig.
All right. Bye.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.